Hey guys, so when you sell a product to a traditional, physical retailer, you want to make sure to maximize your total available shelf space, right? So that your product is seen by more customers. Now, what I fail to see is a lot of suppliers do not apply the same strategy on Amazon when they really should. You want to maximize the total available shelf space that your products have on Amazon. But this is the catch. Unlike a traditional or physical retailer, on Amazon you do not achieve maximum shelf space through a relationship with your buyer or category manager. On Amazon, you pay for it. So specifically, through an auction-based bidding process called Amazon advertising. So it's the exact same end result. You occupy the greatest possible shelf space, but on Amazon, you pay for it through a process called Amazon advertising, as opposed to a physical retailer where you have a relationship with your buyer or category manager, and ultimately it's their decision whether to give you more shelf space or not. But on Amazon, as I just mentioned, you pay for it. It's more of a democratic process where you can have more control over, how what percentage of shelf space your products occupy. So what this means is that any supplier, big or small, it's a more democratic process. So any supplier has the exact same opportunity to compete in that same Amazon advertising process to have their products seen by more shoppers and to occupy more shelf space. Any supplier, big or small, has the same opportunity. Where it differs is how suppliers execute on that. So, for example, this will help illustrate my point. Say you sell a drink, right? Without advertising, you haven't advertised, your product might come up on the fourth or fifth row of search results when a customer searches for drink. So here's an example. I've searched the keyword drink, and then say you scroll down. Say this water, product is this your if this is your product, this is the tile it occupies. Now this is without advertising. This is just an organic placement that occurs by virtue of just how the product performs organically. So you can think of this as kind of the digital kind of shelf. Now, say for example, you also run an advertising campaign on that keyword. Your product would appear in that below placement that I just showed you, but it would also appear in potentially one of these first four search results where it says sponsored. And so what this means is you now occupy more shelf space. Your product will be seen by arguably as much as twice as many shoppers, because now you've got one placement here and then you've got one placement at the bottom that I just showed you. So without advertising, your product might come up on the fourth or fifth row of search results when a customer searches for the keyword drink. Now, if you're running an effective advertising campaign, your product might come up on two tiles, that original placement and also the new advertised tile. Not only that, but if you've structured your advertising campaigns well, your product will be appearing specifically in that first row of search results. So if you're thoughtful and if you're intentional with your advertising strategy and you know what you're doing, your product will appear on one of these first four tiles that I just kind of showed you over here. Now, why that is important is because we know the vast majority of purchases on Amazon occur in the first two rows of search results. So effectively, you're now reaching heaps more customers. And then again, if you have multiple products and if you know what you're doing, you might occupy multiple advertised placements within that search result. So kind of like Coke are doing at the moment. So they've got this Fanta product. They've also got Powerade, Coca-Cola, all owned by the same company. And even Kirk's. So they're, you can see they're occupying the vast majority of shelf space. And then the other consequence of this is that your competitors now have one fewer spot to put their products. So effectively, you own the shelf. So again, this is why having an advertised strategy is so very important. Having multiple products appear in that first search row. So again, you can even track this by what is called your impression share. Whenever you search a keyword, how many times do products appear for customers, and you can exactly measure what percentage of the total available impression share your products appear, and you want to try and maximize that metric. And ultimately, this all means your products, you own the majority of shelf space on Amazon if you've done this well and you've thought through this strategy and you've executed it well. You own the majority of shelf space. Your competitor products will not appear as much, and you will grow at a faster rate than your competitors in your category. And all of this to say, you did not even have to ask for anyone's permission to do this. You've done this through a self-serve advertising strategy, or you've paid someone to do this for you, who knows how to do this, who has come up with this strategy for you. And so that's the end of this video. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.